Is recognized for as much time as he wishes to use.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here today to support H.R. 4174, introduced by Speaker Ryan and of which I am an original co-sponsor. The American people deserve an efficient and effective government. I think we can all agree on that. Taxpayers have the right to know their money is being spent wisely. And all too often, decision makers throughout the federal government make choices without sufficient evidence and data to inform them and guide them in making those decisions. In the previous Congress, Speaker Ryan and Senator Patty Murray introduced the bicameral bipartisan Evidence-Based Policy Commission Act of 2016. That commission was charged with studying and making recommendations related to access and use of evidence to support policymaking. And believe it or not, they finished in about a year. The Commission on Evidence-Based Policymaking released their report September 7th of this year. The Commission made 22 recommendations on how to improve evidence, on how evidence is accessed, produced, secured, and maintained by the federal government. On September 26, 2017, the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform held a hearing entitled Recommendations of the Commission on Evidence-Based Policymaking. At that hearing, 4 members of the commission explained the intent of the recommendations and the need for more evidence to improve policymaking. According to Dr. Ron Haskins, the co-chair of the commission, evidence showed that many of the nation's social programs produce modest to no impact. H.R. 4174, the Foundations for Evidence-Based Policymaking Act of 2017, addresses several recommendations from the final report issued by the commission. The bill lays the groundwork for critical examination of what's working and what's not working in the federal government. Policy decisions should be made on facts. Those folks of my generation will remember Sergeant Joe Friday and Dragnet. Just the facts, ma'am. That's what we're trying to get a hold of here. But according to the Commission on Evidence-Based Policymaking, too little evidence is produced in the federal government to meet this need. The Commission also found cumbersome and idiosyncratic data procedures create confusion, create unnecessary costs, and are a barrier to evidence building. Additionally, according to the Government Accountability Office, agencies' continued lack of evaluations may be the greatest barrier to informing managers and policymakers and constituents of lost opportunities to improve efficiency and effectiveness of limited government resources. These barriers are standing between the taxpayers and the effective government that they have paid for and that they deserve. H.R. 4174 removes some of the barriers that the Commission identifies and encourages agencies to expand the use of evidence in decision-making. First, each agency will need to designate a chief evaluation officer and submit annual evidence-building plans to Congress and the Office of Management and Budget. This bill also establishes an advisory committee to review, analyze, and make recommendations on how to expand access to and use of data for evidence building. It also includes the Open Gov Data Act that Representative Kilmer and I introduced. The Open Gov Data Act addresses the Commission's recommendation to expand access to information about data. The Open Government Data Act requires federal agencies to develop a comprehensive inventory of federal data and increase access to specific data assets that are appropriate for public release. This isn't personally identifiable, confidential, private, or classified information. It also establishes an open by default standard for federal data, meaning the data will be available under an open format, open license, and will be in a machine-readable format. We're going to crowdsource some of this evidence building. We're going to let the private sector or nonprofits or whomever access this data, find ways to use it, build data, and again, get more bang for the taxpayer's dollar. The bill further improves data management and collection by codifying the position of Chief Data Officer and clarifying the CDO's roles and responsibilities. And finally, H.R. 4174 establishes a process by which statistical agencies can access data, ensure effective and consistent privacy considerations, and develop methods to reduce the sensitivity of data. This will expand opportunities for use of data by the evidence-building community. The Foundation for Evidence-Based Policymaking Act of 2017 was reported favorably out of the House Government and Oversight Reform Committee. I come back to the bottom line on this. Americans expect policymakers to make decisions based on fact, and decisions based on facts are better decisions that will save taxpayer money and be good for America. H.R. 4174 will help make these expectations a reality. I urge my colleagues to support this bill and reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Texas reserves his time. Gentlelady from New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd now like to yield my colleague.